Hello friend, welcome back. In your previous video, we have discussed about that update hash password, right? Now in this video, I want to discuss about that logging form. Like if you go to our database and that is our user, right? So here I want to logging this user with the email address and then password. Okay, so for access that our logging, we have to create one of the route. First of all, let's do that work. For doing this, I want to create that route into this route, and that is our user route, right? So for the user, I want to create another route. So that will be another post method. I better copy this one, and then after that I paste it. Okay, so that will be one of the post method, and I want to name it as a user slash logging. Okay, that will be for the logging, and for the logging also we have to create another function. Okay, better I copy it, and now I want to paste it. So that will be another function. I just name it as a logging. Okay, I name it as a logging, and this function name that will be as a logging. Now we have to create this logging function, right? Now go to our controller. So that is our user controller, and into this user controller, after this, okay, after this I want to first of all export it. Exports our name. I name it as our function name will be as a logging, right? In our user route, I named that function name as a logging. So now that will be as a logging. Great. So first of all, I want to pass that asynchronize. So that will be as a logging, and then asynchronize. So async, I want to use that also request handler as a request, and then another parameter as a response, right? I simply add both of these, and our array function, I simply loaded that things in here. So we want to match our email and then password, right? We need both of these data. So right now, first of all, we have to get both of these data from our database. Okay, from the user database, I want to get that email, and also I want to get that password. So if you want to get both of these, what exactly you have to do? I take one of the constant. Okay, into this constant area, I want to take both of these in here. I want to take that our email field, and also I want to take that our password field. Okay, I take both of these, and then everything I want to get it from which place? I want to get it from to the request body, right? So that will be the request body. So with this request body, I get our two of this field data from our user database table. From here I get that like as a email, that is email data. I get that our password data, right? I get both of these. I take that as email and then password. Great. So now I want to first of all check it, that email, whatever the email you want to update, this email is exist or not, right? Here also we have to check it, like that is one of the email, this email is exist or not, because with this email I want to access our logging page, right? So that will be as email. So this email should be in our database, and also password should be in our database. So first of all, I want to get that our email. Okay, I want to get this email. So I take one of the variable as a constant, and I just name it as a user, and user will be await, and we await our user model, right? I want to access that our user table. So that will be as a user model with this user, and then that will be as a find one method. Remember, there is a find one method. With this I want to check. With this method I want to check our which field? As a email field, that is email is exist or not. So if this email is not exist, okay, like if you that is a logging form, that would be as a two field. One is the email field, and another is a password field. So it should be checked in our database as this email is exist or not. So if this email is not exist, then what exactly we can do? So I simply put on the if condition, if this user is not exist, okay, that is a not user is exist, then I want to return. Okay, then I want to return on the response status, that is a response, and then status. So response status, then that will be what? That will be as a 401, right? That means it's not actually match. And also I have to pass one of the JSON data. So I simply pass that JSON format data, and JSON data area I want to pass that success. Okay, success, as success I make it as a false, because this user is not exist. And also if you want to pass on the message, you can pass this message. So that will be as a message, and message I want to pass one of the message as invalid. Okay, invalid email and password, email or password. Great. So I simply pass it. I hope friend this part is very much clear to you. So first of all, with this we'll get all that our body data from our database. I will get that email and the password, and then we'll check it our email is exist or not. And here I take that our email data, take the things with this user, and now with this user I want to check this user is exist or not. So if this user is not exist, that means this email is not exist, then that will be return on the response status as a 401, and into the JSON format I may pass that as a success will be false, and it should be displayed on the message as invalid email or password. And then our another things we have to check our password field, right? If you go to our password field, into this area you can see there is a password also as a hash password, right? So now we have to do, user will be not inserted any hash password, user will be inserted as a plain password. So this plain password now we have to change it to the hash password, and then we'll compare both of this data, right? Now let's do that work for the password. Okay, here after this I want to do, I simply added another constant because we have to also match first of all that password field. That will be as a constant. I name that as a is match, and with this is match that will be the same as a await. And here also we need that bit trip. I simply load that bit trip. So there is a bit trip, and also make that sure you have to load that bit trip in our there is a controller. I have already loaded that bit trip, you can see. Great. Now I want to use it. So with this bit trip, and then it will be compare. Okay, it will be compare both of these data. It will be compare our database field as a password, it will be compare with our, I have already get that requested password, and here that is our password, right? It will be check our this user password. That means that will be our user and then password. I hope friend it's very clear. So if whatever the input field will be inserted, that is a password. So this password will be checked in our database at this password, right? So now I simply match both of these. That means with this compare method, it will be compare. And after that, I want to, like, if this is not match, okay, if this password is not matched, then you can also display some of the another message. Then that will be just like that. Okay, that will be just like that. I better copy it, and after that I paste it. So here I want to make it as a is match. When this is match will be not match, then that will be return as a 410, one of the JSON format data, and JSON data will be displayed as a success as a false, and message will be invalid email or password. This type of one of the message, then that will be displayed. Okay, and rather than I want to return one of the 200 status code. That means that will be the return response, our response is status. Okay, status I want to pass it as a 200, because that means everything is perfect. Okay, so that is our 200 code. And also I want to pass that JSON data. So that will be our JSON format data, our success. Sorry, so that success will be as a true, right? Success will be as a true, and then our user data. So I simply pass that our user data. Great. So now that's all you have to do in particular that position. Great. I hope it's very much clear to you. So that is a simple process. Simply get all that on email and then password, and I find this data, a specific email. If this email is not exist, then that will be display this message. It will be compare our Bitrip password. When this password is not matched, then that will be display this message, and else it will be successfully return this user data. Okay, that's all. Now let's check this out. Click as a save all, and now I want to go to our REST, that means our postman, and with the postman I want to create another new request as a add request as a user logging. Okay, name it as a user logging. Click as a save, and that will be as a user logging, and in this user logging will be one of the post method. I make it as a post, and also better I copy it. I copy, and then right now we don't need this. Actually right now we don't need this. I better remove it. And also here, that is for the which one, that is for the user. So I take this part. Now that is another one, I simply paste it. Okay, so our URL I have created for this as a user, and then the logging I copy it, then that will be as a user logging. Okay, I simply added that user logging. Great. Now if you go to that body, into this body, into the row, into this row area, I want to now add both of these data. So one will be as a email, okay, email, and I make it this as a JSON data. So that will be a JSON format data. As an email will be like I name it as aryan@gmail.com. okay, and also I want to take another password, so that will be as a password, and password I want to make it. Right now I just put inappropriate some of the password. Okay, now if email and password will be not matched, then that will be displayed on the error message. Now click as a send. Yes, you can see it's now display as a success, as a false, and message as invalid email and password. Now I want to check it. Like here, that is our new user create, right? I want to do better create another new user. I want to create another new user as a Jackma. Okay, I make it as a Jackma, and then also that email will be as a Jackma, and I put that password like for now as a 12345. Okay, so that will be actually our password. I want to create one of the new user. I have already done this. That will be on the post method, and that is our store a new user, right? So I have used that as a Jackma, and then our email address will be as a jackma@gmail.com and password as a 12345. Now click as a send. Now new user is successfully inserted, right? There is a name, email, and then password. So if you go to our database, now refresh it again. Now that should be another one. Yeah, the new data is inserted as a Jackma. Now for this Jackma, I want to do into logging. Okay, with this Jackma, let's check this out. If you want to check it, now go to our post method again. I want to use that as a Jackma and @gmail.com, and password I used it as a 12345. Now if you click as a send, yes, you can see you are successfully now able to logging. So now everything is data. That means here I have display which data? I have displayed that user data, right? Here that is, you can see I have display that user data. So for the reasons when this user is successfully logging, then you are able to access our user all the data. Okay, I hope friend how can complete that logging functionality, how can match your email address, password is very much clear to you. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.